When I think about the word adventures, I think about trends. I think about through the years things that have happened in the world of education. For me, when I first went into administration, it was right after the pandemic. So us as a school system, we had to pivot and find ways to make sure that we were providing the best opportunities for our students. For now, we see other challenges like enrollment, other challenges like immigration laws and things like that. So in my space, adventures is it just reminds me to make sure to be able to adapt and and always be ready for what's coming up next.
An adventure that I've had as a leader has been one of personal growth. It's helped me grow not only as an educator and as a person, but also as a mother. I come from a lot of parental involvement throughout my entire life and my entire career. And when I became an assistant principal at an ETO school in an ETO setting, I was exposed to a world that I had never seen as far as students needing more support, needing that mentorship, needing that guidance of more than just an administrator, but as a human being that's there to support them and be there for them. And I was blessed enough to be able to create these relationships with these students and help them grow and help them know that I'm here to support them on a daily basis. And that to me has been it's been an adventure, but it's also been one of personal growth as a human being and as a leader within a school.
When I think of adventures in leadership, I think of highlighting the impact that us as leaders are making within our buildings and our communities at large. I'm excited to be part of this process. I consider myself part of the adventures in leadership, and I hope that we continue on a national level, local, and within our Miami-Dade County to tell our stories. I think it's important for us to weave, to be artists in bringing together all of the diversity that we have within Miami-Dade County and just sharing our stories and sharing our impact.
I would say the adventure that I've experienced that has had the greatest impact on me as a leader thus far is actually this process. This process has been the first time in my career where I really sat back and reflected on everything that I've experienced, reflected on just overall impact. So this experience thus far has been pivotal to where I am currently and also where I plan to be in the future.
Qualities that I think I possess, for sure, I would say loyalty to my principal. At the end of the day, the job of the assistant principal is to assist the principal. And if you guys can be on the same page, you guys can have a connection, professional relationship, then the production and the work just gets accelerated. Having a close relationship with your peers, with your staff, being knowledgeable of the subject matter, and just being a kind person, but also knowing the job, being knowledgeable, making sure that you create an environment where your staff and your students come to you and ask you questions, and just make sure that you're present. You want to be behind closed doors, you want to be present at arrival, at dismissal, in the trenches, in the classrooms. So
Qualities that would benefit students and parents and all stakeholders involved would be to lead with the heart. I strongly stand by that. That is my educational philosophy. It's leading with the heart. When students and parents and the community feel seen and heard, they feel valued. And I find that to be equally, if not more important than their academic success. It's something that's very meaningful to me. I find that being there as a support system for our students helps them in those tough situations be able to come and confide in you to help them, whether it's for academic reason, whether it's for personal reasons, or maybe issues happening in the community that they are concerned about. As far as our staff, it's also building those relationships and treating them with respect, and being consistent with that respect is important for them to know that you are there not to look down on them, not to talk down to them, but to be there to support them and help them grow within their school.
The qualities that I have as a leader that I feel allow me to work well with my students, my staff, and really to serve my community. Number one is I consider myself a servant leader. I am there to serve the people that I lead, and that is my entire faculty, my entire student body. And being a servant leader, I am very approachable. I am compassionate. Another quality as well that I think is important is that relates to our community and our stakeholders, our students, our families, is that I'm a visionary and an innovator. I look at the big picture. I see the big picture. I see what the needs are within the needs of my students, the needs of my teachers, the needs of my community, and I see what can I do, what can I bring to the table to be able to serve them. Many of that have been, an entire medical assistant wing that we're building new to our school that has never been there, and that's by listening to our students and what they want. They want medical. Creating a new magnet strand with hospitality for fine arts and including arts and entertainment within our hospitality. And that is because our students wanted that.
The qualities that I possess as a leader that influences my work with students, with parents, with various stakeholders, I would say is being a thermostat and not a thermometer. Being able to influence, not just react. Being proactive in my approach, always being consistent, maintaining integrity in everything that I do. I tell people all the time that I'm able to go to sleep at night because I know that I made a consistent decision. I know that my decision is aligned with policy. I know that my decision is always in the best interest of the individuals that I serve.
I did receive some advice, and I remember the words were, "This job at times can be very lonely." And it's true at times because we have to make some uncomfortable decisions, we have to have some uncomfortable conversations. But as long as you have the students and the betterment of your school best interest in mind, at the end, it's all worth it. It's part of the job, and it makes you stronger. You go through things that a second time around you're able to handle because you've been through it before. Your past experiences and these things, if you go through them, it makes it a little easier every time they present themselves.
The best advice that I have gotten from, it's my current principal. I've known him as a teacher as well. He has always taught me to lead with respect. It's to treat people with respect, not only our students, but also our parents and our faculty. It's giving them the opportunity to be heard and treating everybody with fairness and with kindness so that we can always have the best outcome for the students.
The biggest piece of advice that I received in my career as a leader, it does not seem like a big deal, but it really has made a tremendous impact in my leadership. And that is to say you're sorry when you've made a mistake, because we're human. And we lead students, we lead teachers, we lead others by example. And I will tell you, I'm human. And sometimes I could be having a bad day. And let's say that I may have answered, something like a little bit more harsh, a little bit more abrasive than I should have, and maybe that hurt. And I can come back later, I could be reflective, and I could say, you know what, I am so sorry about the way that I, spoke to you about this yesterday. I apologize. I had just met with this parent. I was, a little frustrated. Let's start over. And I think just as a leader, it's not the position, it's not the title, it is how you care, again, for those that you lead.
So I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and when I think about advice that I've received to boost who I am as a leader, I remember one of my fraternity brothers stating one time, he said that Omega men do that which is difficult with ease, and the impossible just takes a little longer. So when I think about where we are as a district, I think about the state of education currently, that really guides my work as a leader. There's a level of perseverance that exists there, especially with a climate in education that's rapidly changing as we know it. So my approach day in and day out is always approaching that which is difficult with ease. This is a problem that I can solve. There's no problem that I can't solve. I run towards problems. And then that which seems impossible, some may say, yes, it is impossible, but it just will take me a little longer. So that advice, those words of wisdom really guide my work as an educational leader.
An adventure that I think I have been able to provide to my school, for me, it's very simple. I'm very big on creating a homey school culture, a culture where our staff and students feel at home, but also a place where it's very structured and we have to produce. So whenever given the opportunity to have a event at school outside of class time with staff or students where I can cook for them, I make sure that I do that. I'm proud to say that I can make a mean, what's called paella. It's like a rice dish. Bringing the community, bringing our staff members and our students to these events, something about serving them food that just really brings up the vibes. Especially if I'm the one myself serving the food, prepping the food, and our administrative team serving our students. It's not so much the food itself, but it's the fact, it's the environment that we create. Everyone comes together, we're breaking bread. It creates room for conversation. We at times talk about things outside of work, and those things and that environment and the music going on, sometimes we're playing dominoes, throwing tiles, whatever it is. And I've learned that that has been one of the greatest things that I've brought to our school, and it really has made a difference.
So as far as adventure, it's a mix of adventure and education, and learning needs to be fun for our students. An initiative that we have been able to have at our school that has had the greatest impact on not only our students, but also our community, because it has increased the community involvement and parental involvement for our school, has been the implementation of our Artificial Intelligence Academy at Jorge Macanosa Middle School, where we partnered up with Miami-Dade Gear Up in order to be able to build this program from the ground up. We have a complete 3D printing lab. We have 1080 cars, the RC rovers. We teach them about the students about the history of AI, in addition to a full gaming lab where students are constantly engaged and constantly wanting to learn more from this program. It's been super successful in our school because we not only see an increase in student enrollment, but we also see an increase in parental involvement, which is key to student success and something that we truly value as leaders within our school.
I feel like the greatest impact has been just raising the standard, elevating, empowering those that I work with to say, I look at them and I say, okay, what is your strength? And I empower them to lead, to operate in their strengths. And the same thing goes for the students. I look at what is it that you're great at? What is it that you need? And I try to, work with to build those programs. Another example is our Academy of Hospitality. We were able to get distinguished certified. The same thing with our information technology. Why? Because the skill set is there, but it was not elevated. So I think just coming in and with the students and with the teachers, raising those standards, empowering others to be able to work in their strengths. And in turn, we raised over 200 students in enrollment over the 3 years. I think when you raise the expectation, teachers meet it, faculty meets it, your staff meets it, and your students will meet it because they know that this is what you expect of them. So I just feel that's been my greatest impact. I think just leading with love, raising those expectations and empowering those around me, all of them, including my students. I mean, I have students that come in my office, Ms. Delgado, you haven't done this for me yet. You need to get it. Okay, I'm gonna get it for you. Even they are empowered. My office is always full. It's always full of students. It's always, they're always there, keeping me in check because I let them. I empower them to keep me on track. So I think that's my greatest impact.
The Ed Adventure that I've been able to provide my school community that I believe has had the greatest impact has been my belief in teacher quality, teacher development. So I'm the senior program coordinator for the Teacher Accelerator Program, also known as TAP. And the work that we've done over the past about 4 years now is really just providing our district with high quality educators. I truly believe that teachers determine the trajectory of a student's life. And I think my biggest investment has been with building teacher capacity, because building that teacher capacity impacts the school community at large. It impacts all stakeholders, our students, our community. Building teachers, I really think is the crux of the matter. It's a part of everything that we do. Quality teachers equates to a better society, a better future for our students.